Well, I'm trying to repair this wood chipper, and there's something stuck in here, and the button just doesn't work. So,
I mean, it says fuel condenser, so now I'm just confused.
well, it's more of an astro condenser right now. I think if this did work.
Is this Astroneer in Fargo edition?
This was a concept for like getting scrap and then using the scrap to then repair base modules over time.
That's what it once was, yeah.
Yes. Now it's just the thing that is in Andrew's game.
Not the thing that Andrew has used to just produce cubes of cubiness.
Nice.
So, well, actually, okay. So what I'm actually doing is fixing the storms, which I'm sure people will be happy with. It's unintentional. It's a little extreme right now, so we're just kind of.
So part of me likes it, right? And I think we all talked about that. Part of it is kind of great.
You know. I think what we should do is make sure it's set up so that on more extreme planets,
Yes.
that it's really, severe, and
Right.
on Terran it's pretty mild.
Right. And maybe you would want to like build your base underground because the storms are so bad that they'll just wreck your base all the time. or something.
So one of the features that we have in our code is there's the concept of sheltering from the wind built in already, and so you'll notice these things aren't getting blown around, right? And so if we can play on those mechanics, maybe that's how you build up your base in extreme planets, or maybe
Right.
the storm does deforms around your base and blows down your walls and stuff.
Right.
So these are things we've been discussing for a while, and we haven't really we've been working on other stuff. So all sorts of cool stuff can happen.
It's people have been asking for more challenges. So actually, when the storm thing happened, I was kind of like, oh well, like this is kind of fun. Like, it makes you think more about your base and makes you plan ahead and say, if a storm rolls through, I'm going to be like in bad shape.
Yeah.
But it's a little extreme.
It was a little extreme, but I noticed that in the videos that we were watching of people having some trouble with it, that all of a sudden they were building shelters around their bases and walls and kind of like hangar bays for their vehicles.
Yes.
Which is exactly what the storms were there to incentivize you to do.
Wait. So this storm is now causing your ship to have all sorts of
but this is 7 storms, right? Just to be clear, 7 or 8 storms. So this is
Even I'm going to get motion sickness.
Yes.
it's not so nice. But
This is why SpaceX grounds their launches sometimes.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly
So
right.
this doesn't happen.
Oh.
In real life, you ground your launches if there's like a gentle breeze.
Right. And I think it would be cool to think about that, right? To be able to say, well, today, there's a storm coming through. Maybe we shouldn't launch right now. Or this planet has lots of storms. We need a window in order to land our lander in a place where there aren't storms.
At least we're past the bug where they would home in on you like laser beams.
Precision delivery.
Yeah.
People are along the same line of thinking. People are asking for those back because they were like, it made the storms way more challenging.
Well, I think
you had to hide, otherwise you would die.
I think we can do something to make it challenging without making it weird.
Core bases, and then you have this massive fabrication operation going on. You have a multi-planet interstellar.
Oh no. All right, I need a break.
You dead. All right, so let's go for a walk and let's talk about controllers.
Yeah, let's talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We have lots of things to talk about.
We do.
So many things are happening right now.
All the things.
The most important thing that you're working on is the controller refactor.
I've totally been working on controls for probably longer than I have any right to be working on controls.
Yes.
Turns out controls are not an easy problem to solve.
No.
Because, it's how you play the game.
Yes.
The entire game. It affects the whole game.
What a novel thought.
Right. So we have these gamepad controls that have been live in the build for a while. Mm-hmm. And when I sat down with Astroneer for the first time, once I started working at System Era, I was really trying to be open to asking questions like, what is this game telling me wants like extra attention, or what does the game want to become, and how does it want to be improved? So I started thinking about like, well, what works about this control scheme and what doesn't. Mm-hmm. So the version that's live right now, like the one I guess you could call the 1.0 controls, are very much emulating like a a mouse, like you have a virtual mouse.
Yes.
And trying to make, like a mouse is a very precise pointing instrument, and a control stick is not. So trying to leverage a system that requires precision from the player with a control mechanism that doesn't really afford that same level of precision, it just wasn't working. The other thing is that we did this aesthetic analysis of the game. So after I showed up at the company, the other designer, Aaron, and I did this analysis of like, what are all the sort of emotional aesthetics of the game? And we found that tactility is one of our key aesthetics.
That joke went on way longer than it should have, but it still was pretty good.
I think it's pretty good.
Okay.
Okay. Don't smoke.
Smoking's really bad for you.
When I played the game with controller, the sort of metaphor that arrived in my mind was I used to play with action figures where like you squeeze the legs and they would like punch or something like that. So to me it was like the controller becomes one of those action figures. And, like I feel like when I'm playing Astroneer, I'm playing with action figures. And so like I wanted to make the controller feel more like one of those like super responsive tactile experiences of controlling the character.
Got it.
So from that came this whole idea of like an active grab, the sort of interactions of grabbing and placing things either in slots or sort of like digging a resource hole and then filling it with resources.
Right.
We're trying to make that a lot quicker and easier to do on controller.
All right. So the question I have then is the virtual cursor like gone? What's the deal?
So the original prototype for active grab did completely eliminate the cursor. We tried to take that idea as far as we could, but it turns out there's actually some cases where you do want a virtual cursor. So the cursor is on screen for maybe like 30% of the time that it was, and it's only during very specific moments when you're actively trying to place an object that you're holding into a slot or drop it on the ground. For picking up objects, we've completely eliminated the virtual cursor and replaced it with this sort of active grab functionality.
Nice. Yes. So much candy. Now that we have this thing out there, we want to get it into people's hands.
Part of how I see my job is validating ideas. So I can have as many ideas as possible. The team has lots of ideas, and we get to implement these ideas based on our sort of experience working in games and design sensibilities, etc. But the truth is that we don't really know how something's going to be received until we put it out there.
Sure.
So I'm really, really looking forward to getting this out to the community. We're going to put out an experimental build in the near future, and going to get some feedback from the players, going to be paying attention to what people say, inviting you all to jump in and try out the controls. It's going to be rough. It's not complete, like it's not done.
Yes.
We're putting it in experimental for a reason, because there are some edge cases. There are some behaviors that maybe aren't fully implemented or not fully polished. So I've been working on the gamepad refactor for a few weeks, and this is very close to being ready to share with the community in this early state. And from there, I'll be able to move on to address some other pieces of the game. So like up next for me, like super high priority is research.
Yes.
So while players are testing the gamepad controls refactor, I'll be working with another one of our gameplay engineers, whose name happens to be Sam. So it'll be Samantha and Sam tag teaming the research system.
I think it'll be just interesting for people to know that is something that is the next sort of thing on the kill list.
Research 2.0 is the next boulder in my sights, in my targeting reticle.
Got it. Which I think many people are going to be excited about.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm excited about it.
I am so excited.
There's been a non-zero amount of work already done on Research 2.0. It's just a little too early to share because we're still vetting the ideas internally.
We're the bad kids playing hooky right now from work.
I know.
Smoking cigarettes.
Whatever.
Smoking cigarettes.
Sucking on rings.
We took our lunch money and we didn't spend it on lunch. We got candy at the corner store.
Lemonheads.
And we're sitting outside the office.
Candy game in this vlog is strong.
Should we wrap this up so that Joe can't do his canning shot?
You son of a...
I love all the ideas in the conversation.